You're listening to Drinks and a Movie with your host, Rudy. Spoiler alert.
All right, welcome to Drinks and a Movie podcast. This is another episode of the movies that have turned 30 this year in 2025. That means this time we're discussing Heavyweights, the Disney classic from 1995. I'm joined by my brother, Hector, who's been on a few of these episodes already. So I'm happy to have you here because, as you know, anyone who's listening to this might know, hopefully you were just as lucky as we were to grow up with this insane but brilliant comic film. All right, so before we get into Heavyweights, we're going to try out some. And if you don't, I probably poured a little too much. If you don't like it, I'll just drink the rest of it. But this is an Old Forester single barrel, 100 proof, Devilicious Eatery number 3. But I got this from Cypress Craft Liquor, I believe. Warehouse L, floor 3. And yeah, 100 proof. So here we go. Cheers. Oh, God, that smells good. Cherry bomb. Here we go. Whoa. Oh, you shot it back. Okay, sorry. I should have told you. Not meant for that. My apologies.
Oh, you're good.
He's not a whiskey drinker. All right, I'll make this quick then. So it smells like your classic Old Forester medicinal cherry, you know, like cherry medicine. Ooh, caramel. Pretty sweet. Oh. Yeah, and I mean,
it is good.
That's like, that's actually pretty hot for 100 proof. I got to say, like, even for me, that's coming out like super punchy, super punchy. It's kind of more on the bitter end, to be honest. Maybe it needs to open up a little bit. I don't know that I'm quite feeling it as of yet. I took 2 sips. I'm going to let it kind of air out for a little bit. Yeah, that's a hot one. Damn. Like usually for me at this point, 100 proof is like pretty easy, even though it is the first drink of the day. I'm used to like this right here, like 131.5 proof Jack Daniels and whatnot. But yeah, damn. All right. Well, let's get into this movie. I'll talk about it a little more at the end.
Far from the everyday world, there is a place where big
Congratulations, Mr. Sims. You are the fattest boy in camp.
is beautiful.
Chipmunks, down low!
And thin isn't it.
This is definitely not sanitary.
For Jerry and his friends, it was a dream come true. Until the new owner
That is out of here, mister!
Oh no.
turned it into a nightmare.
Lunch has been canceled today due to lack of hustle.
Now, after 6 weeks of frustration,
Then we're gonna climb that 1,000-foot rock face over there.
starvation,
There isn't a gummy bear left in this entire camp.
and humiliation,
Nice swing, you fat tubbo.
Everyone having fun?
Jerry's out to do something far more important than lose a few pounds.
I have a plan.
He's out to gain respect.
What is going on?
You can't kidnap the owner of a camp!
Welcome to the annual Apache Relay.
We're as good as anybody. And it's about time we started acting that way.
Take him down, Cappy.
Walt Disney Pictures presents a comedy for every kid.
Tell me the artist and title, please.
Cher?
Da Vinci's Mona Lisa.
Tired of taking it.
I'm so slow. It would have been cool to go fast.
And ready to dish it out. Heavyweights.
Heavyweights, everybody, from 1995. I would say this was probably a childhood favorite for both of us. So I wanted to have you on here, and it just blew my mind. You know, again, 30 years old, this movie. You know, I'm doing this whole series where I've got a list of films from 1995 that I want to talk about. Because that was kind of, you know, I was born in 89, so that was right in that pocket of like, I guess, really kind of coming into recognizing, you know, movies and all that. So this was one we watched pretty frequently as we were growing up. Just tell me your overall thoughts on this one.
Yeah, first, thanks for having me on. Like you said, definitely one of the classics that we got to grow up on and one of my favorites of all time, to be honest. I mean, we threw on this movie from beginning to end. I have fond memories, especially when I first seen it. of like almost laughing so hard, just like almost crying at some of the moments that there are in this movie because I don't know what it was, but just the way that it's written, the way that it's done. Ben Stiller, the kids, like everybody who's a part of this movie, I feel like did a really great job, and and Judd Apatow directing it. It's so interesting finding that out later.
Wrote it. Judd Apatow produced it.
Wrote it.
Stephen Brill directed and co-wrote it.
Thank you.
Who also wrote, I guess, like the Mighty Ducks movies, like all three of them, and a lot of other films. But yeah.
No, it makes a lot of sense. That's cool. But yeah, I mean, just to give my overall thoughts on it, it's one of my favorite movies. It still holds up to date, and it's very a quotable movie. It's very there's certain scenes that will always stick out to me. I can go on forever about like which scenes and what just kind of sticks out, But yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, I guess I should have started off with this. So the synopsis for anyone who hasn't seen it yet, and if you haven't, it's well worth watching. I think even if you're an adult and you're in your 30s, right? We're talking about this movie's 30 years old. Go back and watch it because this is like Disney stuff that they just would never do again. And I'm surprised it even happened in the first place. And I'm very surprised that they haven't scoured the internet for every possible copy of it to like delete it and get rid of it. Kind of like how George Lucas like wanted to destroy all remnants of the Star Wars Holiday Special. I'm very surprised because we live in a time of a lot of editing and altering of older movies, especially in the Disney catalog, I think. So thankfully it's still there. I need to get a Blu-ray of it because I think it's got some good deleted scenes and whatnot. But yeah, so for those who might not know, this is a movie about some kids at a fat camp, a camp that's supposed to promote health and weight loss, but they're just there to basically have fun. And things get turned upside down when a new owner comes in, Tony Perkis, played by Ben Stiller, who's going to take over and use it as an opportunity to create some fitness infomercial about kids losing weight. So it's all for his personal gain. And he's very, very unhinged. And the kids fight back. So, yeah, even just like saying it out loud is super bizarre. And I mean, we got some heavies in here. Obviously, Ben Stiller, obviously, Kenan Thompson, young Kenan Thompson, classic. And I got to say, is it Sean Weiss, I think, that plays Josh? Who was also in Mighty Ducks. Mm-hmm. I want to start with that guy real quick. So we were watching this again recently. I had it on my list, but then I asked you to come on because the other day you put it on and I ended up, staying at the place you live at. And I think I ended up watching the whole thing. And yeah, good God, does it hold up? But now even thinking about it, like that Sean Weiss kid, and unfortunately, his life took a dark turn, apparently, from what I've seen. But man, was he a good comic actor.
Yes, agreed. 110 for sure.
Like he was always like probably the funniest one. Like at the time growing up, you just know and like recognize him. But like even watching it as an adult, I'm like, man, this kid had a special talent. Just from his very first introduction when he's sitting there and Kenan comes up to give him, oh, I met the new nurse or whatever. And yeah, she's smoking hot or something. And he just like, just looks up and he's like, this pleases me. It's like such a great line delivery. And he just has this kind of, I don't know, almost adult aura. Like, I can't believe it's a kid actor. It's like a man in a kid's body,
Yeah, I know. The best part is how he just kind of looks over and it's the whole attire of what they're wearing too. It's funny because, I don't know. They're rocking like Stussy, and he's got that hat going on, and it's just funny seeing him. But I agree with that. He's really great in the movie. His timing is really good. Whenever he's giving like his lines or he's delivering like a certain punch that's going to happen, it's on point. Mm-hmm. So yeah.
And I want to bring up too, like Paul Feig, who plays Tim, one of the camp counselors who did actually lose weight. So he's like a skinny guy. He would go on to have a pretty decent directing career. I don't know that I care for some of the movies he's done, but it's just interesting to see some people in this movie again go on. And what I like is that he actually did direct a lot of episodes of The Office, and along with Judd Apatow, he was a big part, I think, in directing and maybe doing a little bit of writing. I don't remember, But for Freaks and Geeks and Undeclared, which are both like really great shows, even though they both only lasted a season, they're well worth watching for anybody who hasn't seen them. Sadly, they got canceled, but I guess it all worked out for Judd Apatow anyway. And I do remember being an adult, like watching this movie and realizing, that Judd Apatow was a writer producer on it. It really kind of blew my mind, like you had mentioned. And it did make sense though. It made a lot of sense that oh, of course, that's why this movie is so good. And it's something that Disney would never tap into again. And I couldn't find many interviews with him talking about it, but I did come across one and he mentioned that, I think there was two, but he did mention that they didn't want to promote the movie at all. Which does make sense because it does seem like it kind of went under the radar. I mean, in my eyes, it was always just kind of there. You're a little older than me, so
yeah.
I don't know if you remember the moment you saw it for the first time or whatever. I don't. It was just always in my consciousness.
Right.
I don't know. Is that the same for you?
Yeah, no, it's pretty much the same for me. I do remember there's a few movies that stick with me where I think to myself, this movie is one of the funniest movies I've ever seen. And this is one of them. Whenever I can't remember the exact first time I saw it, but I know when I first saw it, it really stuck with me. And kind of like the same thing as that at the Roxbury when I first saw that movie.
See, that I remember seeing in the theater.
Yeah.
I do remember that one.
Yeah. And this one, it's like you said, it's just something we kind of put on and we can watch the whole thing from beginning to end and kind of quote it. But kind of going back to the Judd Apatow thing, I remember kind of learning a little bit more about that too later on in years. And I was like you said, it does make a lot of sense that he'd be a part of it or was a part of it because that humor just sticks, especially when you think about some of the stuff he made later on. Mm-hmm. It fits very well.
Yeah. Yeah. He was talking about how, Disney saw it and they thought it was pretty dark. And I guess there's a lot of scenes and stuff that got deleted or changed. And, it wasn't obviously not their typical kind of in their repertoire. And they didn't want to promote it at all. So it kind of went under the radar. There wasn't a lot of promotion. I don't think a lot of people saw it, unless it was playing on Disney Channel or something at the time. And I don't even think Ben Stiller was involved in doing press for it either. Cause I guess no one was there wasn't a press tour or anything like that like there normally would be. So that's interesting. So it's hard to kind of find stuff, at least from what I've seen of them all talking about it. Because I wish I could interview Ben Stiller and this would be the movie I would talk about. Because he's brilliant too. And at this point, I think he had already had his own TV show or he was about to after. Because I know he had a TV show with, who's Saul Goodman? I'm forgetting his name. But he was working they had a TV show together and stuff, and
Bob Odenkirk.
Yeah. And I know, thank you. And, I know Ben Stiller did a stint on SNL. I think he only did 2 weeks and then got fired though. So I imagine this is all in that same time frame. And obviously he would go on to be a great director and actor, comic actor. I mean, Cable Guy, when did that come out? Was that 97? So that was just a couple years after this.
Yeah, I think it was a few years after.
And I think Reality Bites may have been 95 as well.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure his show, the Ben Stiller show, was before Heavyweights.
Yeah. If he was directing in 94 already, then that sounds right. Probably. Yeah. Some heavies for sure. It's too bad that Kenan Thompson's the only one who kind of went on to have a career still with all his Nickelodeon stuff and then really SNL. Mm-hmm. But I am happy to see him still doing stuff.
Same. Yeah, I mean, this movie, even just the way it starts off is hilarious. Was it Jerry's dad and mom? They're bringing him into the living room. Mm-hmm. And I forget what it is, a camp guide guy or whoever it is.
Tim Blake Nelson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I got to be honest, I don't remember the exact words that are said right now but it's just so funny. He's thinking he's about to watch something about a fun camp, and it is looking really fun in the beginning, showing the blob and the go karts, and he's all excited about it. And then he starts to see.
It's a fat camp.
It's a fat camp. Are you crazy?
You're fatter than I am. Why don't you go to the camp?
Oh, man.
Yeah. Well, even that whole opening credits of them getting out of school, and I love the shot of all the kids dumping their backpacks in the trash and all that, the last day vibes. It captures the last day of school in the 90s, so well.
Yep.
And him having to like walk home and people are just like talking shit to him. Like just yelling shit.
Oh man.
God. But that is great. He's like, whatever, like, I'm not going. And then it just cuts to the plane taking off. Like, just really brilliant editing, too, in this.
Yeah. And then that's where we meet Keenan's character, which is really funny. He's on the same plane and sits next to him, right? And it's kind of like, I don't know if he says something like, is that your dad?
Yeah.
He's like, no. He's like, why do you say that? Because he's fat.
Yeah. I forgot about
man.
that. No, that's great. And I love their, on the bus going to the camp and just funny, weird moments. Like one that always stuck out to me that's hilarious is, there's a montage of them traveling and whatnot. And when they pull into the camp and they're so excited and Keenan is like telling them it's going to be this great experience and it's actually a lot of fun. But when they're pulling in and, the main character, Jerry, and he's looking out the window and all of a sudden the music becomes like dark and goes into this minor key. And that one like big kid is just like spinning the stick outside.
Yeah.
And there's like a chime, like a bell hit. Dong. He's like he's going into a prison, like a prison camp or something.
Oh man. Yeah. The way they cut to that is so smart and brilliant. It's just brilliant because he's like waving the stick back and forth. Like, don't come in. Like, no, like don't come in here. Oh man. And then the way it cuts to Jerry's face through the window on the bus. He's like, what's going on here? Oh man.
Yeah, no, it's so good. Yeah, just the introduction of all the kind of key players is really fun. And then of course the kind of I'm calling it a briefing because I got like James Bond in my mind, but the first orientation would be the proper way to say it. They're like orientation to the camp where we meet the owners played by Ben Stiller's actual parents. And then we find out that, they've gone bankrupt. So they're getting, the boot. And then Ben Stiller comes in as Tony Perkis and just another amazing intro. Like there's like the sirens going off and he's just like running up and giving this whole spiel about like health and all that. And I used to weigh 320 pounds. I had low self-esteem and no self-respect.
And no self-respect. Oh, man.
But when he's calling them out, like, I see a famous rap artist. And it's like, you would never get that out. It's Keenan, the black kid. Like, right. I see the president of the United States.
He's from England.
Yeah. And then Josh, I just love the, oh, my God.
Oh, man. But now I eat success for breakfast with skim milk.
Yeah, man, it's so great. Even the music's like just funny and everything, and I love the characters of like Pat and Lars. Mm-hmm. Lars is the intro of Lars. Like,
hello, I am your new friend and counselor. Please enjoy your new Perkis system uniforms. Your families will be built automatically. Now, let's play the fun game that helps us learn each other's names.
We already know each other's names.
Silence! You, please announce everyone's name.
Okay. That's Roy, that's Josh. Sam, that's Cody, that's Nicholas, that's Michael, that's Phil.
And I am Lars.
Lars? What kind of name is that? Where are you from?
Far away. Now, I must inform you, I have a severely deviated septum. When I sleep at night, I make a very disturbing sound. Don't be alarmed. I am fine. Now, go to sleep.
That's one of the best parts of the movie, I think.
Yeah, just like this big, like Austrian guy is like, yeah, I just got to say it. One of my favorite moments too is there's a scene later on when Ben Stiller and some of the other counselors go into the chipmunk cabin or whatever, where all our key players are. And I love how it just, again, he's just like Gestapoing their little room. Where it just, what's the scene that comes before? But it cuts to him like cutting the mattress open with a knife, like with a big old like hunting knife. Is that what are you doing? That's my bed. He's like turning it out. and they're like finding the cat. He's like using a little laser pointer to see the opening in the I don't know, the post of the bed.
Yeah.
But him finding all the candy and the snacks. And the best moment is when he's like, "Whoa, what's wrong? I'm still your friend. Come on, give Uncle Tony a hug." And Keenan goes up, he hugs him, and again they play that like dark, like minor music.
Yeah.
And when he frisks him, and then he takes the Pez dispenser out of his sock, he's like, "Look like my man's packing." And this always always has killed me since I was a kid is the fact that he opens up the Pez dispenser and they're using like a gun sound effect,
like shell casings hitting on the floor.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like bullets. It's like just stuff like that is so genius. Like who thinks of that and like knew it would be man, it's so hot in there, and knew it would be so funny. That's why I think even if you're an adult, it's worth checking this movie out because it's not your typical Disney fare and it's just so out there with stuff like that. That's almost some like Wet Hot American Summer type humor whenever they like throw something and it's like the sound of like a pot breaking.
Yeah.
With just the gun sound effects. And then of course Josh, like Seymour Butts and all that. And
I don't enjoy this part of the job, but it's vital to the success of the Perkis system that we remove all temptation from your lives. Here. Dispose of that, Lars. What? I'm still your friend. Come on, give me a hug. Hmm? Come on. Tony believes in you. Looks like my man's packing. Drop back, son.
Well, even through that same scene, one of the best parts too is when the other guy who's in there, he's like, "I used to be a chipmunk last year." Yeah, and then he's like showing them the secret place where they stash all the rest of the candy and all that stuff. And then Tony goes through it and he's
look, a deli meat.
Look, who wants to own up to this treasure trove? Oh, look, a deli meat.
Oh, Tony. Sir. I was a chipmunk last year. Look.
What are you doing, man?
Well, what have we here? Who would like to own up to this treasure trove? Whose wonderful candies are these? Oh, look! A deli meat.
You. Come here. Yes, you. Come here. Don't be frightened. Just come here. ID cards.
Yes, Tony.
Let's see. Garner, Gerald. 141 pounds, age 11. Now, I'm sure you didn't have anything to do with this, did you?
Oh.
But I bet you might be able to tell me who did. Anyone who brings candy into this camp is not your friend. He is a destroyer. Do you understand that, Gerald Garner? Do you? I'm sure your father, Maury Garner, wouldn't want to hear that his son is a destroyer. Would he? I don't think so.
Okay, enough. All right. Josh, I'll tell you whose candy it is.
Don't do it, Josh. Let the man speak.
Candy belongs to Seymour Butts.
Seymour Butts? Seymour Butts? Who's Seymour Butts? Who's Seymour Butts?
Nobody's Seymour Butts than you, Uncle Tony.
You picked the wrong man to mess with.
Oh, I didn't know I was messing with a man.
We have a comedian! Hey, I like comedians. Perhaps I can book you on a tour.
You're the man, Josh.
Good morning, campers. Joshua Birnbaum is no longer with us. His bed is now available.
Josh is alright, isn't he? Man, I hope so.
Yeah, that back and forth with him and Josh after that too is just incredible again. Oh, comedian. See, and again, even the fact that kid actor was able to go like toe to toe with Ben Stiller, and of course he's not like Ben Stiller as we know him today, but he was obviously like on one back then if he had his own show and doing stuff, and that kid could act like right alongside him with that same comedic tone is brilliant.
Yeah.
Maybe I can book you on a tour. But that, again, another brilliant edit when it's like them laughing in the freeze frame and just the fade to white, like around his, that like white vignette around his face. And then we just cut to his bed being like empty. And they're all looking over. And then like the radio or the announcement, the PA system, like, Josh Birnbaum is no longer with us.
His bed is now available.
all the kids are all freaked out.
Oh man, his bed is now available. And then the next scene is the kids all like saying what they think they heard or what they heard. Like, oh, I heard he got left at a bus stop and it was all alone. And then the one cafeteria guy was smoking a cigarette while feeding them food. He's like, sorry to hear about your little friend Josh.
Peter Berg, who's also a director.
Funny.
Yeah, I love that. Well, he's dead. That is so funny too. Like that's something I didn't really, I guess, notice until when we watched it recently. Is the fact that he's smoking in the couch, because that's so like just not a thing now, and like they don't even like most movies don't even show smoking anymore, even when it is adults and. Just, you know, when you're dealing with food and children, it's funny. Again, I'm super surprised Disney's not deleting this off every database and hard drive known to man. Well, and when he comes back acting like he got a lobotomy and all that is pretty funny, and went to the Sizzler, all you can eat meal, closed the place.
Yeah, I mean his intro back is great too, because it's in the middle of the night coming in, like, and then they wake up and it's like Josh was bad.
Oh no.
Josh now good.
The way he's like rubbing the pillow on his
right. Must be good to see my big, I don't remember what it says, big white ass again. So funny, man.
Yeah, it's a brilliant film. You know, one thing that is, oh my God, I got to bring this up though, the dance. Where they have to, like, first off, there's just funny stuff too. Like, you know, when Tony Perkis is on the PA and he's like, tonight's lecture is on liposuction, option or obsession. He's like, lunch is canceled today due to lack of hustle. Deal with it. Yeah. Just all that. Oh God, it's so ridiculous. And when they're like sliding on the stuff and Lars is like, I feel skinny Tony.
Slide. I'm feeling skinny Tony.
That montage when Jerry's writing the letter to his grandma, and the first funny part is the fact that he starts off with, they say war is hell, but they've never been to fat camp. Like super dramatic. Again, it's like really dark, like sad music. And he's like, you know, they're taking away all the fun. They even killed the blob. And when they come out with the spear, but again, they're playing like a sound effect of like a whale dying or some shit. Exactly. And he's like, it's like screaming. You know, there's a part where he's like, you know, Tony tries to lead by example, and it's him, like they break the ice on him. Mm-hmm. But then when it cuts to, they're like sitting in this amphitheater at like a bonfire.
Yeah.
And it's made to look like super culty.
Like a culty.
Yeah, he's just like, I know each and every one of you because I was you.
Dear Grandma, someone once said, war is hell. They've never been to fat camp. I knew the food would be bad, but even worse, today he killed the blob. As for the go-karts, may they rest in pieces. I'm writing you because nobody else seemed to care.
I did not send you to go-kart camp.
Attention campers, lunch has been canceled today due to lack of hustle. Deal with it.
Tony Perkis tries to lead by example.
This is the 18th level of the Perkis system. You'll all be doing this by Labor Day. All right, do it to it, Lars.
It's my honor, Tony.
But we're afraid. follow.
I know each and every one of you because I was you.
Once a day, the kids from Camp MVP drive by and make fun of us.
You stink! You stink! You stink! You stink! You stink! You stink!
At night, they vandalize our camp. At least Josh got out, where there's food. We have to resort to more desperate measures.
Let's get him! Take the person to the head! I want me!
Tony's arranged a dance with the girls' camp so he can humiliate us into losing weight. Pray for me, Grandma. Love, Jerry.
Like, I never appreciated just how funny that is. And it's really great. It's like there's no wasted shot in this movie. Like no wasted shot or moment. Even things like that, you know, as a kid, I didn't quite like see how funny that was. It like seemed like it was a serious moment, but now it's like all just a joke. You know, even to the point where Lars is hitting on the nurse at the water, at the pier or the dock, whatever you'd call it. And he's, I got him on the buddy system. And first when he's just like pushing kids into the waters, he's right. Oh, Judy, there's Judy. There's Judy.
Excuse me, there's Judy.
When, you know, he's like, buddy, and they all raise their hands and Josh is just by himself.
Right.
Like,
buddy, buddy. Oh, buddy.
Yeah,
the body system.
The body system. But the dance part is great too. The you know, he's even making us dance with the girls' camp so he can humiliate us into losing weight. And the way that plays out is really fun when they do eventually, like, you know, get into it. And there's one joke, I think I made this comment when we were watching it, where they talk about, one of the girls says, why don't these guys just lose weight already? And another girl chimes in and is like, why don't you show them how to throw up after meals like you do? Like, man, talk about something that's like really taboo.
Right.
Oh my God. Making jokes about it, like anorexia or whatever. Good Lord, but worth it. Yeah, that dance scene is really fun, especially when Tony Perkis, you know, the sirens go on and it all stops. And I love that when he's like standing at the door with like the flashlight or whatever, like a baton.
Yep.
And they do the dolly zoom or the vertigo effect where the camera like dollies in, but it zooms out at the same time. So it looks like the background is stretched. Like, I just love that there's like real filmmaking behind it.
Right.
and techniques used for like maximum comedic effect is brilliant.
Yeah, it's so good.
Put the fruit trays away. The insects will be out soon.
Man, during that scene, Paul Feig does a good job too as Tim.
Yeah.
Like, I like that he comes out and he's trying to figure out a way to make it fun or make something happen because he's like, this bites.
Yeah. After he was hating on a sugar-free punch, this bites.
What are you doing, Tim?
Saving the dance. I love to, when Pat is you know, like, these young kids still afraid of girls or whatever. And she's like, cool, you want to dance? And he's like, oh no, I got to, blah, blah. Tim. And he like walks off. But I love too, like after Ben Stiller comes in, and he's like, the bus is waiting, ladies. Thank you. I know this wasn't easy. And like, as they're all clearing out, there's like that one kid, Cody, I think, who's like making out with some chick in the corner. Just, oh God, it's so good.
Yeah, even some of the dancing during that scene with some of the kids is really funny because if you look at the different styles of their dancing.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's so good.
You know, one thing that's always been weird to me with this movie, though, I mean, not weird, like it's still fun, but even as a kid, I definitely noticed that tone change, and now it may be, I don't know, I'm gonna say it bothers me, but it's just a weird shift where after all the Tony Perkis stuff is taken care of. Right. There's still this whole, like the movie doesn't end where they take care of them. So they hatch a plan to like take the camp back. And we'll talk more about that in a second because has its own hilarious moments. But after that happens and he gets away and it's all resolved, it's like, yeah, we got rid of him. And now Pat's going to run the camp, you know, because he's been there for 18 years. And everyone's all happy and, you know, parent day is over. But there's still like another 20 minutes of the movie, like a whole other act to go, where now it turns into, and it's funny because I was listening to Ebert's review of this and Cisco, I think, brought this up, how then suddenly the movie changes into like an underdog sports story about
like the Mighty Ducks and stuff again, or things like that. Yeah.
Where the kids have to like, they got to do this little triathlon against the other kids. And they do mention it earlier in the movie. They bring it up that's a thing that happens. They have that baseball game.
Yeah.
But it is funny. It's almost like, it's like the movie is still going, huh? Like I thought we were good. Like it's still happening. And now we got to watch this cultural appropriation, as people would say now. So people of modern sensibilities that might not like that as much, but deal with it. But yeah, that's just interesting to me and does stand out as like, again, it's still fun and they're on the goat cart. So it's like the one maybe kind of negative point I would bring up about it.
Right.
Is that like just sudden change?
Yeah.
When it started, I thought, hey, this is going to be good. Go after those infomercial guys. I thought it was very smart, but they lose the courage of that and they go into a traditional underdog sports movie in which the overweight kids who are the underdogs combat the, all hard-body kids from the camp next door.
Yeah, we've seen this before.
Yeah, and unfortunately, there's a blown opportunity to deal with the issue of overweight children, which is a big issue, and there's a lot of pain associated with these kids. The movie doesn't have the courage to do that either.
Gene, maybe if you had been able to see that movie, you wouldn't make fun of me all the time for being fat.
Roger, if you don't want me to, it'll never happen again.
Yeah, it is interesting how it goes into like that shifted tone again. But I mean, overall, I don't mind it still. Like, I get it. I mean, there's those little moments in between all that stuff too. Even when Pat is driving Jerry in a go-kart, and like that's supposed to be a fun moment of like,
well, that's maybe the most like dramatic moment of their like kind of character connection. And you learn a little more about Pat, I think, and the fact that he like truly cares about the kids and the camp itself. And then, the Judy's watching them and it's all a whole thing. And, he's finally riding the go-kart and, and we can fly, and that comes back later when he jumps over him.
Yeah.
Nice little dramatic moment.
Yeah. One other little part that I think we kind of skipped over a little bit is when the kids are playing baseball. And then over the intercom or whatever, I think it's Lars something's wrong with the restroom, right? Or the bathroom or something like that. I forgot what he says.
He's like, report to the men's toilets or whatever. Bring a
mop and a plunger.
Now.
Then it cuts to Pat just like walking up the stairs all like, just, oh man.
So I love this too when he's talking to the coach from the other camp and he's like, hey man, maybe you can take it easy on them this year. And he's like, camp MVP athletes are, made to compete at the highest level. We wouldn't want to confuse them, and all that shit. I love Ben Stiller running with his bike. Thanks for telling me how to run my camp that I bought. But the moment where he like comes fully unhinged or whatever when they're like doing their way out and they're filming, and this is just another funny random joke to throw in, but when he's like running, and because mind you, they're making the infomercial, and I forget the guy's name, but he's in all the Adam Sandler movies, is the camera guy. And when Ben Stiller starts like running and he's just like, he's like, hey, I'm not rolling yet. it's such an interesting joke to throw in. And he's just like, are you rolling now? Speed. Does speed mean rolling? Yeah. Yes. Yes, it does.
Oh, man.
But when he puts on this little act and they're all weighing and everyone's just like gained weight. And I love when one of the kids, I think Josh, comes on and he just like moves the thing, get off the scale. But that is a moment where it does get pretty dark and like how he's so unhinged that he's like talking to himself in the corner. Right. But then when he goes off on Pat, because we're going to do a 20-mile hike and you guys are going to blah, blah, blah. And he goes off on Pat about the fat man's going to tell me what's healthy and just really puts him down. And then calls him a negativity spreader, like as if he's such a bad person. Like
you're a negativity spreader.
But when he takes them on the hike, just another great. See, one of my favorite lines, and I say this to my friends like pretty regularly. This is like a regular quote in my life, because I'm constantly moving with the sense of urgency, and a lot of people don't like that.
Yeah.
But when I think it's Cody, like passes out by the tree and they're like, oh, get up. And he's like, he's a straggler. Stragglers are left behind to fend for themselves. I was. Leave him.
Just leave him. That's another great part, man.
Like Icarus.
Yeah, even just the way they show him, just like against the tree, like he's like about to faint, or like he just can't do it anymore.
But when they're up at the top of that mountain and he's doing like yoga or Tai Chi or something, and it's a really great shot with like the sun, like setting in the background, and he's just like silhouetted on the sky. I just love that.
Repulse the monkey.
Yeah. Oh, Cody wants to have fun. How's this for fun, Cody? Whee! He just jumps on the tree.
Yeah.
But when they're talking,
I'm on top of the world.
when he's doing his yoga stuff, and they're like, I don't know, I say we push up. He's like, there's no jury in the world that would convict us. Nah, too bad. Like the fact that they're literally considering murdering this man. But when they're talking about him, about this guy's sick and whatever, when he's on the tree, and they don't show it, but you hear the sound effect of like flipping, like the and he like lands right there.
Just cuts right back in the frame.
Yeah.
What was that?
Yeah. It's too good. Way too good. But yeah, when they eventually, take him down and have him like captive and all that stuff, like, good Lord. Yeah, there's too many good moments in this. I would actually love to sit and watch this with someone who's never seen it before and get their thoughts. I'm sure there's someone out there. I need to find a friend that has never seen this and be like, hey, we gotta watch this movie. You appreciate comedy. Let's see what you think.
Yeah, no, same. I'd be interested to see that for sure.
If it would hold up, because there are some moments that are pretty juvenile for sure, like the when they tell him like, oh, how can you do sit-ups blindfolded, like that whole prank.
Right.
More funny as a kid, less as an adult.
Right.
And a couple other little bits throughout. But man, ultimately it holds up really well.
Yeah, I mean, like you said though, when they capture him too, that part's pretty funny because then they come back. Well, earlier in the movie, one part we didn't mention was when what does he say? Something like along the lines of value. Do you have any?
Oh, yeah.
Not yet. By the end of this camp, this is going to be filled with skinny winners. Skinny wieners?
You hear that, guys?
You hear that, guys? And then later on, that comes back when they have them like locked up in their little makeshift jail.
Yeah.
And they come in with the stereo.
Yeah.
And then they're playing their recording. And then it's Jerry speaking.
Wake up, Tony. Tonight is evaluation night. The key word here is value. Do you have any? No way, because you're a loser. A loser with a skinny wiener. So relax and repeat after me. I am a loser. I smell. I have no friends. Now breathe and relax.
Shut that up! Oh! Wow!
Well, and when they're having the parent day, so they have like the little English kid or British kid watching them, and just his whole scheme to get, and the way they shoot it and light it, it's like he's an actual POD. That's what makes it so great, is they don't like wash it over with like nice soft light because it's a family kids movie.
Right.
There's like shadow and he's like cut up and dirty and it looks like an actual, like he's in a POW camp or something. And I just the way he like talks to this kid, you've been a good guard, Philip, or not Philip, I forgot his name, but you've been a good guard. Your queen would be proud.
Your queen would be proud.
And he like uses the foil to make a fake chocolate kiss, and there's even a little like speckle, when he holds it up. But yeah, that moment when he goes to attack, I guess the like parent day, whatever it was.
Parent day.
Yeah, and he's like doing all these. It's so dumb, like just breaking glass and walking on it. I'm too strong. He just gets laid out.
Yeah, you're too weak, Gerald Gardner. What does he say? 154 pounds or however heavy he was.
Yeah, that sounds nice right about now. Damn. But yeah, then he just like bumps his head.
Yeah.
And then of course he plays his own father when he comes into. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know. I guess the kid, something about needing a hug. He's like, you never see me cry like a little baby.
Because I didn't get hugged enough or something.
Yeah.
Damn. Just full of many funny moments, good actors, good writing, good everything. Now, did you know that this movie has a post-credit scene?
I think I found out later on, not in the beginning when we first used to watch it when we were kids, but later on, I think I saw it on the DVD. But even right now, I'm blanking out on what it is. Is it? Remind me, what is it again?
Yeah, it's just Tony Perkis knocking on a door selling like
jewelry. Now I remember. Yeah.
I forgot that was a thing, and that's something I also didn't see till I think DVD when I was like quite a bit older.
Mm-hmm.
But I do need to. I do need to put the order in for a Blu-ray of this. Because I truly fear that it might not be around forever. And I am really interested in seeing some of these deleted scenes. And I wish I would have had time to listen to the commentary on it if there is a commentary track on the DVD, because it would be interesting to hear, the director and everyone talk about that. So,
yeah.
And to get some like fun facts from it. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know that I have anything else specific to say about this one. Just a funny movie. 30 years old. Jeez.
Yeah, no, just a classic forever, I think. I think Ben Stiller does such a great job in this movie. Just everything, his timing, the way he does his lines, his faces. The kids do a good job in this movie too. I mean, it makes it's a well-rounded movie in my opinion.
Yeah, everyone's on point. I mean, they weren't kind of slouching on this one, and I'm glad it exists. And I kind of miss movies like this, to be honest.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
There's a theory, and I obviously I don't think it really connects, but you know how people love to come up with their stuff. Mm-hmm. I've seen it on like YouTube, I think, but some people were trying to say that Tony Perkis is the same guy who's in Dodgeball.
Yeah, I've heard people talk, like people like to try and connect it.
Yeah,
sure.
Right.
If you want to believe that, yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I mean, this movie as a comedy holds up to me more than a lot of movies that would come later. But yeah, dang, all right. I think that's a wrap on this one, everybody. This Old Forester single barrel, I guess we'll see next time after it opens up a little bit. I felt it was quite on the bitter side as I was kind of finishing it, but I don't even know if they still have these. But if you want to try and find it, Devilicious Eatery number 3 for a single barrel pick from Cypress Craft Liquor. We will be back for more in the series of movies that turn 30 in 2025. So cheers. Thank you for listening to the Drinks in a Movie podcast. You can now find us on Instagram at Drinks in a Movie Pod, where we'll be posting photos from all the various films that we discuss. You can also email us at drinksinamoviepod@gmail.com. Please rate, review, and subscribe, and thank you for listening.